So I recently got sick and I just abused that time and took it as an opportunity to completely let myself go. I was ordering takeout like there was no tomorrow because I didn't have the energy to cook, which is fair enough, but I wasn't ordering things like sick people food, like your porridges, your soups, your veggies. Nah, your girl was ordering things like burgers, burritos, hot chocolate, dessert for every single meal. I was in bed all day, just watching stuff on my phone or on my laptop, and my room was becoming a total mess. And don't get me wrong, that's completely fine when you're sick, obviously, but my issue was that I continued this behavior even after I got better. I started getting dangerously comfortable with this new way of living. So it was all fun and games at the beginning, but after a while, it really didn't make me feel great at all. I felt lethargic all the time, I had serious brain fog, and I just had zero motivation. And this is coming from a girly who loves being active, and I love eating home-cooked meals, and I feel the most energized when I'm working hard on something that really matters to me, like my YouTube. That is the real Tika, and that is when I feel at my best. And so after a week, I was like, okay, I have had enough. Time for me to get off my ass and get back to being me again. So if you've experienced something similar, like you're stuck in a rut, or maybe you've fallen off track, or you've just lost all motivation to do anything, don't worry, because me and you, we are gonna set that reset button for you today. I'm gonna be sharing everything that I normally do to get back on track so that you can start thriving again in your productive girl era. Timestamps below as always because I value your time. Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Tika and I post everything that I learn about how to live your healthiest, wealthiest, and most fulfilling life. If you like that sort of content, then do subscribe to never miss a video. Okay, so there are a couple mindset shifts here that we need to address before we get into it. First of all, do not berate yourself for falling off track and for not being productive, because that is not helpful, and I'm gonna be straight with you, it is a giant waste of time and energy. And this is really important because we do not want to start this entire process with a negative mindset. So you screwed up. You've spent too much money buying matcha lattes, and you've just been eating a bunch of junk, and you haven't worked on your side hustles at all this past week. You have two options here. You can either, number one, sit there and waste even more time and more energy wallowing in your self-hatred and your self-pity, or number two, we can be mature about it, accept that what's done is done, and say to ourselves, okay, what can I do to fix this now? This is a bit of a side note, but I grew up in a family environment where if I screwed up, then the focus would solely be on the fact that I screwed up in the first place. And I had one family member in particular who would fixate so much on that instead of thinking about what the next step should be or what the solution should be to the problem. It was so pointless and it was a giant waste of time and energy, and I just absolutely hated how that made me feel for no good reason. Truthfully, I think that was what made me into this person today who just doesn't dwell on anything when shit happens. And to be honest, that is something that I'm very grateful for. When things fall apart, or if I've royally messed up somewhere, my immediate reaction now is to be like, okay, I fucked up. Wallowing is not gonna help me, so what can I do right now to fix this? The second and final mindset shift I wanted to cover is we don't want to view getting back on track as a form of self-punishment for being lazy or falling off track. A self-punishment mindset sounds like, oh my god, I didn't go to the gym all week, I've been such a lazy cow, I need to go to the gym today and do like 5 hours of cardio. No, that is not what we want to do. What we want to do is shift away from this mindset of self-punishment and shift towards a mindset of self-care. A self-care mindset sounds more like, okay, I didn't go to the gym all week, and because of that, my body isn't really feeling at its best. I'm feeling lethargic and kind of blah, and I know that moving my body is going to make me feel a lot better. I want to take better care of myself by exercising again because that is what my body deserves. That is what it means to have a self-care mindset. If you have a self-punishment mindset, then you're gonna feel awful about getting back on track, and ironically, that's probably going to decrease your chances of getting back on track. Because let's face it, as human beings, we hate feeling like shit, and we will do everything in our power to avoid that. Whereas if you feel good about something, then you're gonna look forward to getting back on track, and then you'll be more likely to follow through with it. So next, I want to introduce something that I like to call my reset routine, and this is something that I do every single time I find myself in my lazy girl era. It's a 4-step routine that is super low effort and barely takes any time and works like magic. It's basically a way of telling my brain and my body like,
Okay, sis.
We are getting back on track today. So let's say that it's a new day and it's the morning. The first thing that I will do is go and take a cold shower. Why? Because this shocks my body into wakefulness and it makes me feel so fresh and like new afterwards. Number 2, I do not change back into my PJs. I go wear a nice outfit, put on some accessories, and maybe put a little bit of makeup on if I feel like it. Number 3 is breakfast as usual, and I'll go and make my matcha latte, and I'll either read for a bit or journal and just really relish in the moment. This puts me into such a calm state of mind, and this is super important because if you are calm, then you can organize your thoughts better and you can make better decisions and you'll just be more productive throughout the day. And finally, step number 4, I will organize my room. Nothing too crazy. I won't be doing any deep cleans or anything like that. I'll just make my bed and put things away and rearrange things back to where they were before I let my room turn into a disaster zone. The reason why I do this is because I genuinely believe that a clean environment equals a clean mind. And that's it. That's the reset routine. Trust me, after doing these 4 basic things, you will feel so much more put together, and that is going to help set the tone for the rest of the day. And usually after that, it'll put me in the mood to do even more productive things. So usually I'll go to a cafe and go work on some YouTube stuff, or maybe I'll go grocery shopping and cook a new recipe whilst listening to a podcast. The next thing I want to touch on is to start small. When I wanted to get back into working out again, I didn't immediately go back to my usual routine. Your body really needs time to acclimatize back to your old ways. So I hadn't exercised at all in a week, which is a big deal coming from a girly who has a very set 5-day gym routine. So one day after work, I decided to go for a walk in the park nearby. I left my phone at home and just did 1 lap of the place. Nothing too crazy, because the whole point was I just wanted to get a bit of a sweat in and to get my body used to moving again. And that was it. I came home, I showered, and I felt amazing afterwards. My brain felt so focused and I was in the mood to work on YouTube, and so I ended up finishing a script that night itself. So I'm just gonna sidetrack here a little bit because I just wanted to say that I love going for phoneless walks. And if you guys haven't tried it before, then you should definitely do it. We have so much noise and stimulation throughout the day that our brains are just constantly activated. You need to let your brain breathe. So go for that walk. Leave your phone at home. No music, no podcast, no nothing. There's a ton of research that shows that being in nature is so amazing for your physical and mental well-being. In fact, in Japan, they have a specific term for this, and I know I'm gonna butcher it, which is kind of embarrassing because I'm partly Japanese, but the term that they have for it is shinrin-yoku, which roughly translates to forest bathing or taking in the forest atmosphere. And the whole idea is to immerse yourself in nature as an antidote to the overstimulation that we experience from tech and the stressors of modern life. And this has been shown to improve your sleep quality, your mood, your ability to focus, as well as your stress levels. Okay, back to the video. So I started out with that short walk in the park just to get my body used to moving and exercising again. And the day after that, I decided to just do some push-ups at home and then go for that walk again. And then the day after that was when I went back to the gym for the first time, but I didn't go for my usual weights. I lowered everything and just focused on regaining my strength again. Usually after I finish lifting weights, I will do a bit of HIIT as part of my cardio, but then I decided, you know what, this week, no HIIT because it's a little intense. And so I decided that as part of my cardio, I will just go and do some gentle incline walking on the treadmill for 10 to 15 minutes. And then next week, I'll start HIIT again. The whole point is that you want to gently ease yourself back into routine so that you don't over fatigue yourself and don't end up going back to square one. And by continuing to do this, you will get back on track in no time, but you just need to be patient with the whole process. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments, so let me know what tricks and tips that you have tried in the past to help you get back on track. Maybe you've got your own reset routine that you'd like to share. I'd be curious to know, and I'm pretty sure that the community here would benefit from that as well. Okay guys, as always, take care and see you in the next video.